nearby. TrueCar.com, new or used. It's a more confident car buying experience. So I was saying, I'm reading stuff this morning, and as I'm preparing for the show, and I'm seeing all this Jags love. And, oh, God, the Jags. And I like the Jags. You didn't love the Jags. You didn't love the Jags an hour ago. You just hate the Patriots. And so let's not kid ourselves. This game is solely about the Patriots and your utter disdain for the Patriots because they've been dominant, and people get tired of, who's the most hated baseball team? The Yankees. The most hated college basketball team? Duke. People get very jealous of teams that dominate over and over. LeBron's the most loved player and the most hated player. So I'm going to give you 19 reasons why the Patriots are going to beat the Jaguars. So you want to have a little light orchestra music on it. Number one, Jacksonville's coming off the biggest win in a decade. Okay, what happens when sports teams, high school, college to pro, come off their biggest win in a decade? They're flat the following week. Number two is, we don't need to go into too many details here. You can figure it out. I have Tom Brady. You have Blake Bortles. I'm just going to let that bake for a couple seconds. Number three, Bill Belichick's the greatest coach probably ever, and the other guy is not. I'm going to let that bake for a couple of seconds. Number four, the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's their fourth roadie in 5 weeks. That's Atlanta, by the way. Why did Vegas like Philadelphia? Atlanta had been on the road, including a playoff game with the Rams, for more than a month. Number five, Vegas knows New England because they've had New England in this spot a lot of times. 15 times they've had the Patriots as a double-digit favorite in the playoffs. They've been right 12 of the 15. This is not a double-digit favorite. It's 9.5, but Vegas knows the Patriots well, and when they make them a big favorite, they win big. Number six is there's a massive experience gap. New England has 8 times the playoff experience. Number seven, this is a stat I pay a lot of attention to when I make my Blazing 5 picks. Yards per play. New England's 5th, Jacksonville 12th. New England's a more explosive offense. That's also a stat Vegas wise guys pay attention to. Number 8, third down conversions. New England 10th, Jacksonville 20th. They will have the ball longer. Number 9, Blake Bortles is not good while trailing. Did you know that Blake Bortles' passer rating when leading is 100? When he's trailing, it's 67. And New England and Tom Brady have led in the playoffs in the last decade 64% of the time. Number 10, Leonard Fournette. Yes, Leonard Fournette's why New England's going to win. His 3 biggest college games against Alabama, he was shut down in each. What does Belichick do better than anybody? Take away your star. Who's Belichick's best friend? The coach who shut down Leonard Fournette, Nick Saban. Number 11, New England has a major chip on their shoulder from the ESPN story. This is a franchise that won a Super Bowl in the year they were busted for Deflategate and the year after Deflategate. Number 12, Tom Brady has an increasing chip on his shoulder now that his understudy Jimmy Garoppolo went to San Francisco and suddenly became the second hottest quarterback in the league to one Tom Brady. Number 13, the Gronk factor. This is remarkable. When Tom Brady and Gronk have played together, this is unbelievable. 90 wins, 80% winning percentage when Gronk and Brady play together. There's never been a combo with that percentage. Number 14, Bill Belichick, all-time, including playoffs and Peyton Manning, has an 82 winning percentage. 82% winning percentage against the AFC South. Every time there's a tough guy from the AFC South. Oh, Houston Texans wear a Letterman jacket. Look at the Jags defense. Here come the Colt, Peyton Manning. They are 10-1 in the playoffs. 38-8 overall against this division. And reasons 15 through 19 for our television viewing audience. That's why the Patriots. Those are 5 Super Bowl rings. That's why the New England Patriots are going to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's how you got to 19.
Yeah, I was 1 short. We thought the odd number was more obnoxious. I was going to do 20, and somebody said, be even more obnoxious than you usually are. So I said, I'll go to 19, just to taunt Jacksonville.
I'm surprised you didn't do, like, LeBron's number or something. That'd be appropriate.
You know, it is interesting, though. Like, if you're NBC, you know, in my years of doing this, you've worked at several networks and regional networks and sports networks, and so have I. It never really happens that network bosses don't necessarily root for teams. What they do root for generally, though, is like a series to go longer. You never want sweeps. My former employers, ESPN, last year, they had like 5 NBA sweeps. That's bad for business. You have to do make goods. Those are awful for TV networks, any network. You don't want sweeps in a baseball series. You don't want sweeps in hockey. You don't want sweeps in the NBA. I mean, last year, ESPN would acknowledge we had like 5 sweeps in the NBA playoffs. You just don't make that money back. It's like an off. Generally, networks aren't necessarily rooting for teams. This is an exception. I can assure you NBC is rooting for New England this week. A Jacksonville versus anybody would be the lowest rated Super Bowl in a long time. And don't tell me you love Jacksonville. Let's be honest here. This has been Cleveland's bad, but they're not anonymous. Could I argue they're the most anonymous franchise in the NFL? They're like the New York Islanders of hockey, the Pelicans of the NBA. They just don't have a brand. Now, I love the fact Tom Coughlin is there, but this will be the rare moment when I do think a network's kind of behind closed doors kind of pulling for the – because I really do think Brady Belichick and their legacy against Minnesota, that's a great Super Bowl. That could be an all-timer. That's going to be a chess match. You're going to have the Mike Zimmer's done a great job. Yeah, I think you have a better roster. You have the best defense. They're playing a veritable home game against the legend that is Tom Brady and Belichick. That, to me, is a great Super Bowl. Jacksonville against anybody, it's a tough sell. Now, the ads a lot of them are already sold, but I think you'd have to do some make good because I don't think the number would be off the charts. I know the Super Bowl is a party. People like a party, but that just doesn't have a lot of oomph to it. Boy, we have a lot. I will say this. I want to go back. Well, I'll say this. People think I'm nuts. I don't think I am. I'll defend myself. That's coming up next. The holidays might be over, but winter is in full swing and spring is just around the corner. And according to studies, the air inside is 100 times more contaminated than the air outside. Memo to people, get outside more. But we're inside a lot. That's where Filter By comes in. You don't want to get sick. Mold, dust. Well, resolve to breathe better with Filter By, America's leading provider of HVAC filters for homes and businesses. They carry over 600 different sizes. They all get shipped for free. You get them within a day, 24 hours, and they're manufactured, all of them here in the United States. Filter By offers hospital grade to stuff in your home, pollen, mold, dust, allergy, aggravation, out. Maximize efficiency of your system. Right now, you can save 5%. Set up auto delivery. Never need to think about filters again. Money, time, save both. Breathe better. FilterBuy.com. Filter BUY.com.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Introducing the